Live from Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater Township, Baycats TV presents the Inter-County Baseball League playoffs. And this afternoon, once again, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs in town to take on the Barrie Baycats. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Hope you're enjoying this Sunday afternoon. He's Julius Hern. I'm Ben Davy. This best-of-5 playoff series currently tied 1-1 between Toronto and Barrie. Game 3 straight ahead of us in just a moment. Toronto Maple Leafs on Friday night at home finally broke loose offensively with some big-time run production after a frustrating series opener for Toronto, striking out against ace Frank Garces 15 times. They finally get to Game 2 starter Juan Benitez scoring on him early and often.
And a big part of that was John Javier. He's kind of been the catalyst for all of Toronto's offensive production. The first 2 games, remember he had that 2 RBI double in Game 1 against Frank Garces in that 3rd inning, but also 3 more RBI on Friday night in Toronto. He's 5 for 8 in this series already with 5 RBIs, so they're really leaning on him, the DH in the 2 spot, to get things going.
If there was a game in this best-of-5 series that Baycats fans may have been most concerned about, it's this game. Game 3, Cesar Rosado is scheduled to start, but he has struggled significantly in his previous few outings.
Yeah, the big question for Baycats fans is what version of Cesar Rosado are we going to get tonight? Are we going to get last year's Cesar Rosado that was absolutely dominant, especially in the playoffs against Toronto, a 7-inning outing and a win last year in the first round? But his last 2 outings of this season, not good. He's allowed 13 earned runs over those 7 innings. So the question is for Cesar Rosado himself, is the playoffs maybe a clean slate for him? Is the dog going to come out, or are we going to see more of the drag that we saw at the end of the regular season?
Final preparations are being made on the field behind us. We'll be right back with the start of Game 3 of this series between Toronto and Barrie. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
provincial championship. We've got the final out for you on the Jumbotron, so have a look. The 17U Barrie Baycats shut out the hometown Hamilton Cardinals 4-0 at Bernie Arbor Stadium, finishing the tournament 6-0. Fans, please give it up for these players in attendance here this afternoon. Their names are as follows: Ashton Alvaro, Daniel Chernovsky, Holden Muscat, Landon Nevers-Dillman, Luke Aud, Max Owen, Aiden Keels, Oscar Clayton, Zach Hobson, and we'd also like to recognize a few of the 16U Baycats who played a role in the championship. Wes Crozier, Kane Riccati, Brady Martinuk, and Carter Grieveson. Longtime Baycat Jeff Cowan has had the championship banner at the ballpark this afternoon. Jeff helped the team all winter long as they prepared for this season. Fans, one more time, give it up for the provincial champion, 17U Barrie Baycats.
Thursday night here in Barrie, it took a little bit of late inning magic with Noah Hull coming in to score. And the Baycats squeaked out a one-run win over the Toronto Maple Leafs to take the series opener. Friday night in Toronto, it was all Maple Leafs as they cruised to a convincing win over the Baycats. So kind of opposite results for Barrie in the first two games of this series, and we'll see what happens here in the Game 3 of this best-of-5 playoff round.
I think the vibe around the team is they know they're lucky to come out with that win in Game 1 on Thursday, because we could be sitting here looking at a 2-0 Toronto Maple Leafs series lead, and this might be an elimination-style game. So it kind of already feels like there's so much on the line, even with the series tied in this Game 3.
Let's take a look at Rob Butler's Toronto Maple Leafs here for this third game of the series. Ryan DeSantos, the leadoff man at third base. John Javier, who Julius spoke of in our intro moments ago, DHing batting second. Jordan Castaldo, the former Baycat, bats third at first base. Marcus Connect, the cleanup hitter, in right field. Justin Mara behind the plate bats fifth. Dennis DeBanning in center field hits sixth. It's Spencer Ross batting seventh at short. Dan Mara at second batting eighth. And Luca Boscarino, the number 9 hitter in left field.
They're going to face Cesar Rosado, who, compared to his 2024 year, very different year compared to that. Only 56 strikeouts compared to 105. A 5.17 ERA this year, a 4-5 record in 13 appearances. 11 of those were starts. But he's been historically great against the Toronto Maple Leafs in his career, a 3-0 record, an ERA under 3.
Our starting lineups brought to you by Sports Medicine, the official clinic of the Barrie Baycats. This series will resume in Toronto for Game 4 for sure at 7:30, and then depending on what happens in that game, Game 5 would be back here at Athletic Kulture Stadium on Wednesday night for all the marbles. Series tied 1-1, Game 3 straight ahead. Our home plate umpire this afternoon is Nick Leffler. Ryan Hern behind the bag at first, and it's Jeff Rose handling duties at third. On this late Sunday afternoon, strong contingent of Maple Leaf fans right above the Toronto dugout on the third base side applauding Ryan DeSantos as he's introduced as the game's first batter. First pitch from Rosado is a called strike at 4:11.
Yeah, a lot of friends and family in attendance here for the Toronto Maple Leafs on their half of the field.
0-1 pitch. Popped up, left side, over near the Toronto bullpen. It'll bounce against the fence. Quickly 0-2 here on DeSantos. Game time temperature 22 degrees. Felt a little bit warmer than that with the sun just scorching us a few moments ago. We do have some variable cloud cover, however. 24 officially with the Humidex. And the wind, calm right now. It was blowing earlier from right to left. Here's the crowd behind Rosado as he kicks and delivers the 1-2 pitch. Foul back. Under the shoes of a leaping John Javier behind the Toronto on deck circle. Cesar Rosado, 56 strikeouts in the regular season. Looking to start the postseason off with one here now. 1-2 pitch on the way from him. And it's low and in.
Well, we saw this all night long on Friday night in Toronto. The way DeSantos, he might be able to get down an account early, but he'll work it all the way back up to 3-2 and end up working a walk like he did 3 times on Friday night.
Rosado known for high pitch counts and deep counts in at-bats, especially as of late. 2-2 pitch on the way, and it's hit pretty deep to right field. Keys going back, it's over the wall and gone. A leadoff home run for Ryan DeSantos. 1-0 Maple Leafs right out of the gate.
Rosado really missed his spot there, left it inside over the inner half of the plate, and DeSantos took clear advantage of it on a 2-2 count. Keys went back in right field, didn't really have much to go before he knew it was going to go over the wall.
It could be a short outing for Rosado today if he can't get some quick outs and some clean innings behind him early in this ball game. We'll keep one eye on the Baycat bullpen for you as we go here. First pitch is a called strike to John Javier.
For the game plan is to have Ramon Henriquez kind of piggyback off of Rosado, but when that will be, we're not too sure yet.
Still early. This one lined to right field. It's a base hit. John Javier is aboard.
At this point, we'll give the defense now for the Barrie Baycats behind Rosado. Similar outfield we've seen all series long and through the back half of the regular season. Tristan Clark in left, Welma Gary Doyle in center, Clayton Keys in right. On the infield, it's Adam Ott at third, Brandon Hernandez at short, Francisco Hernandez at second, Nolan Macabroda is back at first base, and Andrew Johnston is getting the start behind the plate.
And Ramon Enriquez is in the bullpen right now for the Baycats. Not throwing yet, but stretching. Definitely ready, or about to get ready. First pitch strike to Castaldo. So Rosado getting ahead of all 3 hitters, but a home run off the bat of DeSantos, a base hit off the bat of Javier. He's ahead of Castaldo 0-1. Runner leads. Here's the pitch. Outside. Manager Josh Matlow does not want to let this lead get out of hand early in the game. And now Enriquez starts to throw.
We were talking about right before the game how soon is it going to be.
Well, it could be very soon. 1-1 from Rosado. Bounces up to the plate off of Johnson. He keeps it to his left. Runner stays put. Rosado could help his cause with a ground ball here. Try to get a couple of quick outs.
I think I said to you before the game, it was going to be 2 base runners, and if you count the home run, being a base runner and then Javier's single, that's kind of the cue there for Ramon Henriquez to get going.
And it's not that Josh Matlow wants to take him out of this game early. It's just he has struggled so much as of late. We know Rosado can go deep in ball games. We've seen it before. Swing and a miss by Castaldo. A weak swing. Kind of only got 3/4 of the way through it.
Well, he missed what would have been his second to last start of the season 2 weeks ago.
We've got some Toronto Maple Leafs throwing on the grass. It's unusual. You don't see that very often.
Yeah.
They're actually on the field of play right now. There's 2 of them that are on the grass that were tossing a ball. They've stopped now. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Brought to you by IMP North. So 1 out in the inning. 2 Leafs are playing catch right now on the grass in front of the bullpen. That's just not something you see very much.
No, I mean, it's not like Christie Pitts where the bullpens are kind of in play over there. This is Luis Florentino
and they're just long tossing. It's not like a pitcher is warming up.
Yeah, it's Franklin Hernandez and Luis Florentino.
I mean, they're not in fair territory or anything, but still on the grass. Just inside that foul line. Here's a ground ball to short. Hernandez to second for 1. On to first, a double play. So that inning double play will certainly help Cesar Rosado. He gives up the early home run to Ryan DeSantos. A 6-4-3 double play off the bat of Marcus Connect ends the top of the first. 1-0 Leafs, game 3 here in Barrie.
I'm Christie from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
First inning of play is brought to you by Park Place, Barrie's Grand Slam destination for dining, shopping, and fun. See you after the game.
Baycats starting lineup looks as follows. Noel McGarry-Doyle leading off in center field. Brandon Hernandez at short bats second. Brother Francisco at second bats third. Nolan Macaroto, the cleanup man at first base. Tristan Clark in left hits fifth. Adam Ahn, the number 6 hitter, is at third base. Andrew Johnston behind the plate for Tyler Plumpton today. He's hitting seventh. Noah Hull, the DH, hits eighth. And Clayton Keys in right field batting ninth. First pitch is high to McGarry-Doyle.
It's Josh Berenbaum getting the start here for the Maple Leafs. He pitched an inning in relief on Thursday in Game 1, didn't allow an earned run. Only pitched one other time against the Baycats, the very first game of the season. 3 shutout innings there in a opening night start against the Baycats.
And Wilhenis Alvarado came on in relief in that game. That was the season opener for the Baycats. Both of them pitched exceptionally well. And Barrie getting a look at both of them here in this playoff series. Alvarado in Game 1 and now Berenbaum here in Barrie for Game 3. It's a 2-1 count to McGarry-Doyle. The right-hander deals. Called strike.
Yeah, Berenbaum pitched that 7th inning on Thursday night in relief of Alvarado after his 6th inning performance.
An outstanding job by the Toronto pitchers that night. This one fouled down the line. Keeping that score low, and you have to imagine, how frustrated the Leafs must have felt to get that outstanding pitching and then ended up losing it in the ninth inning.
Yeah.
The series opener here in Barrie.
It's kind of a pitching duel on both sides, to be honest.
Swing and a miss by McGarry Doyle. One down.
Here's the defense for Toronto behind Josh Berenbaum, Luca Boscarino, Dennis Devanning, and Marcus Connect in the outfield from left to right. Ryan Dos Santos at third, Spencer Ross at short, Dan Mara at second, Jordan Castaldo at first, Justin Mara behind the plate. Same lineup and same defensive structure that we've seen each of the previous two games.
So here's Brandon Hernandez. Strike one. Maple Leaf pitchers through the regular season allowed on average exactly 8 runs per game. So you get a ball game where you hold the Baycats to 1 run through 8. You certainly expect to win. That one deep to left, and the catch is made by the left fielder, Luca Boscarino, 2 outs.
Yeah, Leafs pitching in the regular season a 6.67 ERA in 37 2/3 innings. Obviously, you got to imagine the Christie Pitts plays a big factor in that.
Francisco Hernandez to the plate, takes a called strike. At one point in that Game 1 series opener, the Baycats only had 4 hits going into the ninth inning. This guy had 2 of them. It was a quiet night for the Baycats offense until that ninth inning. Ground ball to short. Quick 3 up, 3 down for Josh Berenbaum. We played an inning. It's 1-0 Toronto here at Athletic Kulture Stadium.
Thinking about doing a renovation, but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. Springwater Township, it's the Maple Leafs ahead of the Baycats by a score of 1-0. Baycats starter Cesar Rosado made one mistake early in this game to Ryan Dos Santos. Solo home run and then a single by John Javier, but got a strikeout on a double play to help his cause, and he'll look to pick up on that momentum here as he starts inning number 2.
Well, the big positive for him early on, despite the home run, he was able to get ahead in those counts early on. First pitch strikes in all 4.
Justin Mara to the plate, the catcher. Left-handed hitter. First pitch from Rosado inside. So that's the first batter of this game that Rosado has fallen behind 1-0.
The control's typically been a problem for him. You mentioned high pitch counts, a lot of walks.
Called strike.
Led the IBL in both in walks and hit batters.
The Dominican right-hander lines, deals, Called strike on a breaking ball. 1-2. Baycats took the season opener 3-2 in dramatic fashion here on Thursday night. Toronto responding on Friday with an 11-3 blowout. Rosado in game 3 induces a pop-up, should be playable. Johnston off with the mask, looking into the sun, makes the catch. Not an easy catch to make. It was in a good spot for Johnston, but with that blaring sun right now, right in his eyes.
Yeah, he got some time on Friday night in relief of Tyler Plumpton, who was hit by a pitch halfway through that game, 6th inning. But he's looked sound defensively this latter half of the season.
Swing and a miss by Dennis Day Banning. Kind of positioned himself too, so his back was to the sun in right field, and that certainly helped. That sun is just blinding right now. Anyone that would be looking out towards right field. In a very difficult position in this late afternoon.
Well, even without the sun there, that's the right move. Back to the plate. You're going to get a lot of backspin on those foul pop-ups.
1-1 on the ground to third. Adamant gloves it cleanly. Sets, throws. It's in time for the out. 2 down. So Rosado is retired 4 in a row. Here comes shortstop Spencer Ross.
You were at the game on Friday, so I'm sure you noticed this. There was quite a few of those ground balls that would take a crazy hop on the lip of the infield turf at Christie Pitts and just sail into the outfield.
A lot of crazy hops, and believe it or not, that dirt has improved over the years. It's not as bad as it even was a few years ago, but something about that, where the grass meets the dirt, it just doesn't seem to be, very well edged, I guess would be the word. The infield grass also kind of has rounded corners, which can be a little bit tricky too. So unless you're an infielder that plays on that at home, some of those ground balls can be tough plays. Pitches up high, 1-2. Gotta say, through an inning and 2/3 here, I'm pretty impressed with Rosado after the pitch that he served up to DeSantos. He's done quite well here. Getting ahead early. A 1-2 count now on Ross. 2 down. Puts one low and away on the slider. And the count is even.
Maybe for him, that home run maybe would have been like a wake-up call. Obviously gives it the hit to Javier, a pitch or two right after, but he's really settled in here nicely.
2-2 on the way. And it's a ball hit over the second baseman into center field. No real chance for Hernandez. Well over his head. Third hit for Toronto. Here comes Dan Mara.
Yeah, Rosado only allowed 3 homers in the regular season.
Yeah, it was really the walk count that he struggled with this year. 38 walks, far and away the highest on the Baycat pitching staff.
The opponent's average was only 241, which is right around the middle of the pack in terms of the Baycats pitching staff.
Johnston puts down some fresh signals here for Rosado. Here's the first pitch. Gets it over for a strike.
Starts out Mara with a breaking ball. A lot of the batters he started out fastball so far today.
Ross just 1 stolen base this year for Toronto.
He's leaning back towards first base.
Probably tells you he's not going. He's on the ground to third. Adamant. A routine throw to first is in time. Leafs strand a runner in the top of the second. Still up 1-0 on Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Second inning of play is brought to you by JC Unlimited Contracting. Design, supply, build, renovate. Servicing Simcoe region for over a decade.
Nolan Macabrota, Tristan Clark, Adamad. The bat for the Baycats. Bottom of the second inning, trailing 1-0. A Baycats loss today, and Toronto can clinch Game 4 at home. Christie Pitts in front of their fans Tuesday night. This is, goes without saying, an important game for both of these teams. Called strike. Mentioned right at the top, a nice contingent of Toronto fans here near the Maple Leaf dugout, and there were a lot of Baycat fans in Toronto for Game 2 on Friday, and that was I would describe it as certainly verbally a hostile environment for the Baycats to be playing in.
Absolutely.
You've got the Bushmen who are always at the top of their game with the heckling and the verbal chanting, but I noticed it was coming from more than just that side of the diamond. There was a lot of it going on throughout the whole ballpark.
Absolutely. I noticed that too.
Very vocal.
I noticed that too. It was kind of all around the hillside. There was chirps coming from left, right, and center, you know?
I was talking to Baycats reliever Brad Grieveson before the game, and the subject came up of how pitchers handle that. You have to block it out when you're out there on the mound. You're hearing everything that's being said, but you have to just kind of press the mute button in your brain sometimes. Swing and a miss by Macabrota. One away. And Brad said some pitchers deal with it better than others. He's certainly been out there enough. He's able to handle it, and he says he doesn't mind it at all. It doesn't bother him. He just wishes that they would come up with some more creative material. He said it's the same stuff every single game. He's like, I've heard it all, guys.
I totally get that sentiment. Adam Kahn was really getting it later on in the game.
0-1 to Tristan Clark. And they were also really going after Nagorski, a former Maple Leaf. And, I mean, a little bit of that is to be expected as a former player for the home side and returning wearing visiting colors. 0-2 quickly here to Clark.
One. Nagorski's fresh on Leafs fans' minds, too, because he's played for the Leafs this year.
They were all over him on Friday. And he was out there pitching some important middle innings for Barrie, trying to keep them in that game.
Yeah, that ended up being a 6-run sixth. Yeah, it started right off the first pitch. Justin Mara, an absolute missile out to right field. Long gone.
Swing and a miss by Clark. And that's how Toronto wins games. They score early and they keep their foot on the gas. And that explains their second highest in the IBL offensive run total. They play in a park that obviously lends itself to high-scoring games, and their lineup takes full advantage of that. But let's take nothing away from the Toronto pitching. Berenbaum has faced 5 and retired 5, and looking for another clean inning here as Adam Ott comes to the plate. Swing and a miss. Berenbaum dealing.
3 strikeouts already in the first inning and 2/3.
McGarry, Doyle, Macabrota, and now Clark. Here's Odd with an 0-1 count. Inside and low.
All 3 guys played in the All-Star game this year, so Berenbaum really living up to some hype.
Swing and a miss. The one thing I will say about the crowds at Christie Pitts, when you wear your Baycats stuff at the end of the game, nothing but handshakes and thank you for coming, and lots of, it's all good-natured, but you know, once the game begins, it's pretty clear who's on which side. Pitches inside, and Mara thought maybe he got strike 3 there. 2-2 the count.
smart there from to step out and try and disrupt the rhythm of Barabon, but he's right back at it right away.
On the ground to second. Easy play for Dan Mara. Baycats 3 up, 3 down. Back-to-back innings here. We go to the third. 1-0 Leafs on Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Back live at Athletic Kulture Stadium, Julius Hern and Ben Davy with you. A Sunday afternoon. It's Game 3 of this best-of-5 first-round playoff series between Toronto and Barrie. Series tied 1-1. Leafs leading 1-0 here in Game 3. And the third inning will begin with number 9 hitter Luca Boscarino. Cesar Rosado. The first offering is a called strike. Prior to Game 1, I did my usual pre-series interviews with each manager, Josh Matlow for the Baycats and Rob Butler for the Maple Leafs. Those interviews are on my personal social media pages. Instagram is I am Ben Davy, the letter I, the letter M, and Ben Davy. Ground ball to third, Adam Odd, one away. And I also tagged each team just in case they wanted to repost them if desired. And my interview with Toronto manager Rob Butler caught the attention of more people than I expected, including former Leafs GM and closer Dustin Richardson. My second question to Rob had to do with Dustin, so obviously that perked his ears, because one of the biggest stories of the season had to do with his mid-season resignation, which came following an extremely detailed public statement that Dustin released criticizing the direction of the Leafs organization. He was responsible for putting a championship-level team on the field. He felt his hands were being tied, specifically in regards to an import player, Ayami Sato, who they made a commitment to despite Dustin's belief, and according to Dustin, a large number of teammates who felt her performance wasn't strong enough to remain with the club for the duration of the season and the playoffs. I won't elaborate any further than that, but you can find Dustin's public statement many places right now. He released that statement on his own. So my question to Rob Butler was twofold. I wanted to know, A, did you know Dustin was going public with this before he did? And B, was there any chance at all that Richardson could continue to pitch with the Leafs after resigning as GM and saying all of that? 2-2 count here to Ryan DeSantos. I fully expected Rob might say no comment, that's in-house stuff, and we would move on with the interview. But Rob wanted to say some things, which is great because as media, our job isn't to take sides or defend anybody. We're here to ask questions and find out what people involved have to say about things.
I respect him for not shying away from it. No, I was fully expecting him as well, as like you said, to kind of maybe avoid it or just to kind of pushed away, no comment. But respect to Butler for even answering the question to start with.
3-2 the count with one out here in the third. So after answering my two questions, Rob said no and no to those two questions, and then he went on to call Dustin's statement unprofessional from someone who has played professional baseball. Called strike 3. 2 out in the inning. DeSantos thought that pitch missed. He's out on strikes. So Butler said Dustin broke the code. He said, you don't take stuff like that outside the family. He said, we all learn from this. He thinks Dustin will learn from it too. And then said his direct quote here, we decided to move on and continue the season without him. That could lead some to believe Rob was saying that was our decision, not Dustin's. Depends on how you want to interpret those words. I think Rob was pointing out he resigned as GM, his decision, it was our decision to put him on the inactive list so that he can't pitch anymore.
It's maybe, him saying we moved on could mean like we've kind of put it off to the side to try and focus on the playoffs.
We've moved on, yeah. Just mentally we moved on.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't necessarily mean. So anyways, there was a little bit of chit-chat about that, exactly whose decision it was. Dustin heard our broadcast, watched the interview, and he was kind enough to give me a phone call today. He reached out to me, officially. It was him reaching out to me, texted my cell this morning. We had a 23-minute phone call before the game. And my first question for Dustin was, did you resign as GM and player or just GM? And he said both. He said he wanted to be traded so he could pitch elsewhere. And Dustin told me, and he gave me permission to share everything he told me today in our phone call, that he wanted to continue to pitch. And Richardson described Butler, I'm quoting here, he said he's a good person, but he's an empty uniform when he's here. He's not here. Those are Dustin's words, not ours, or anybody here today. So he said he thought Rob and him had kind of broed up. Again, a Dustin Richardson term. They had a phone call between them that got very intense at times. It ended with some mutual respect, but Rob was saying what he said about Dustin, and Dustin felt that was grossly unfair. It really caught him by surprise. 3-2 pitch from Rosado on the way. As he'll try to end this inning. It's low ball 4. So apparently, and this is something I didn't know, the Barrie Baycats were one of those teams that Dustin Richardson wanted to be traded to. The Leafs refused to trade him. They own his rights. What's really interesting, Dustin told me, Toronto holds his rights for next season too. So this is a real conundrum, and it could be a big storyline next season as well.
And I remember talking to Josh Matlow, asking him what he's looking for. This is while Richardson was still the GM, and he said he was trying to get Richardson to trade himself in some aspect to Barrie. He was trying to get Richardson over to the Barrie Baycats to be a key piece for the playoffs. So would have been a really kind of weird way that would have had to work out with still being the GM at the time when Matlow told me that.
First pitch strike to Jordan Castaldo. I can confirm Barrie manager Josh Matlow also said to me they were very interested in making Dustin Richardson a Barrie Baycat, and they still are in the future. So Richardson feels like Rob Butler has stabbed him in the back a couple of ways. Number one, attacking his character in the interview with me when he could have said no comment, which I would have 1,000% respected. And B, not trading him. 4-3 put out to end the inning. We'll pick up on this more when we return through 2.5. It's 1-0 Toronto here in Barrie.
Hi, I'm Christie fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Third inning of play is brought to you by Render 3D Quick, the #1 architectural 3D rendering company in Canada, working with thousands of builders, developers, architects, and more.
Andrew Johnson, Noah Hull, Clayton Keys do up for Barrie here, bottom third of the order in the bottom of the third inning. Well, we were talking about Dustin Richardson, former Leafs GM and closer, in the top half of the inning, and Dustin told me in our phone call today, he said he watched the 9th inning of Game 1, and him and Josh Matlow, several other players and media, all kind of that I talked to, said, you know, if Dustin Richardson pitches that 9th inning, Toronto takes a 1-0 series lead more than likely, and probably would be up 2-0 with a chance to clinch here today.
Richardson didn't allow an earned run in 6 appearances in the regular season, 9 2/3 innings. And, you know, was an all-star, as I've mentioned before, told me season opening game, he felt very healthy, one of the most healthy times he's come into the season.
To short, on to first, 1 away. We should also note that Dustin didn't say anything about manager Rob Butler specifically in his statements. He harshly criticized ownership and people above him, did not identify Rob Butler specifically. Rob's comments did address Dustin Richardson specifically, so that was another big problem that Dustin had with, not with us interviewing Rob, but with what Rob ended up saying in that interview that I posted. And Rob also said what he said about Dustin, and then felt Rob Butler went on to praise pitcher Ayami Sato and said some things that I think most of us would agree with. You know,
Absolutely.
how well she pitched, and she was an inspiration to so many people. The point Richardson wanted to make was that he wanted to free up an import spot. He had a player in mind he wanted to acquire but couldn't do so because that spot was and is being held by Ayami Sato, who really struggled throughout the season.
Yeah, ERA over 14. Her final start the regular season before moving on from the playoffs was, you know, not a great start by any means, but, you know, obviously an inspiration to have a first woman pitch in the league.
So Dustin told me that he too is a huge Ayami Sato fan. He said he spent more time with her than anyone. He said he introduced her to Tim Hortons coffee, drove her everywhere. He thinks she's awesome. So it wasn't so much he didn't want her on the team as he needed that import spot to bring the player that he thought he needed to bring to make Toronto a competitive team. His priority is winning a championship, and Sato hadn't proved, in his opinion, that she was effective enough to hold that import spot. And interesting, she's not even here right now. So,
Yeah, she's at the Women's Professional Baseball League tryouts in the States. So unavailable for the playoffs.
So Dustin, in his statements on social media and to me, was very critical of the Toronto organization, accusing them of cronyism. He said that was a word that he used intentionally several times. And you know, you talk to a lot of people about it, and they can kind of see a little bit on both sides of it. And again, it's not our job to take a side here or say who's right or wrong, but rather to tell you what they told us. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Barenbaum. One question I did have for Dustin on my phone call is why he didn't wait to release the statement detailing why he resigned. He could have resigned when he did mid-season and said, you know, more after the playoffs, wait till Toronto's eliminated, and then, you know, air the dirty laundry, so to speak. And he said that never really occurred to him in the moment. He was thinking, I'm dealing with this right now. It needs to be dealt with right now. The fans need to know why I'm making this decision. It's going to raise a lot of questions and catch everyone by surprise. So he decided to just put it all out there in the open. And it did catch a lot of people by surprise. And he said his sentiments were and are shared by many players on this Toronto Maple Leafs team right now. So he sort of felt like he owed it to them to tell the story.
Right.
Well, that's what we're doing here right now. Foul back to the screen.
You gotta think though, like doing that mid-season, what might there be to gain from doing that as opposed to, you know, releasing a statement after the season once the season's kind of cleared up and there's no ongoing, you know, gameplay.
Ground ball to short. Easy throw for Spencer Ross. Baycats go quietly here in the bottom of the third inning. Still 1-0 Toronto through 3 in Barrie. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. Very fast-paced start to this game. We're in the fourth inning already. 1-0 Toronto. Baycats still looking for their first hit off Josh Berenbaum. Cesar Rosado pitching very well after a leadoff home run to Ryan DeSantos. Stranded a runner in the second and in the third, and now he'll face Marcus Connect to lead off the fourth. Cesar Rosado has thrown a first pitch strike to 10 of 13 now. So doing a great job getting ahead of these hitters. And you know, we raised some question marks in our intro to the game just simply based on recent performance and nothing else. But Rosado really trying to rewrite that storyline here and doing a pretty nice job of doing so.
Absolutely. You know, he led the IBL in walks, hit batters. We mentioned his last two appearances of the season, 7 innings pitched, 13 earned runs allowed. He missed what would have been his second last start of the year, second last weekend of the season. He was still feeling a little bit of some nagging soreness, but he's looked very impressive relative to the rest of his season so far in this outing.
2-1 pitch from Rosado outside. He's behind here, 3-1 to Marcus Connect. Connect hit into a double play to help Rosado get out of the first inning.
Yeah, Connect now after that first at-bat, 1 for 4 in his career against Rosado with a walk and a strikeout. Only faced him in one prior game before this.
The 3-1 pitch on the way. Called strike, 3-2.
I think Connect was sitting fastball there, got the changeup instead.
Here comes the crowd behind Rosado. 3-2 pitch coming up, and it's a high fly ball deep to left field. A long way back for Clark. It is gone. Home run, Marcus Connect. Second solo shot for the Leafs today, and a 2-0 Toronto lead.
I mentioned that previous pitch. Connect was sitting on the fastball, got the changeup, and a 3-2 count. Rosado very likely to throw a fastball, and Connect did not miss.
One of the game's most dangerous hitters. And let's see if Rosado can put that leadoff solo home run behind him. So 2 innings now where Rosado has yielded a home run to start the inning. Here's Justin Mara.
Just like that, Ramon Henriquez throwing again in the bullpen.
Bottom line, the way this series has been going for the Baycats, it's just the offense is not producing. And Rosado can come out here and have a brilliant outing today. It's all for naught if they can't generate some scoring off Josh Berenbaum. High fly ball, foul territory. Odd with a long way to go against the fence. Reaches up and does not make the catch. What an effort by Adam Odd. Just out of his reach.
Seen a couple balls slice over that way so far in this game with the way the wind is blowing, and Adam on a great shot at that. You remember last year in this first round series, John Salazzo had a fantastic catch over that third base railing.
One of the most beautiful catches we've seen against that fence here in Barrie. Not easy because you've got fans leaning against the wall. You've got kids running around looking for baseballs. There's a lot going on the other side of that fence when you're running over there. 1-2. Here's the crowd as Rosado delivers. He just missed a little off the plate by a whisker. Good patience by Justin Mara. Two runs, 4 hits for Toronto. Here's the delivery. That's a 3-2 count now.
Mara hit a ball early on against Juan Benitez on Friday, and it looked like it would have been a home run if it stayed fair. And he said, as he was kind of walking down the first base line, that's way gone, and it ended up being foul. And then took advantage of a pitch from Chris Nagorski later on. That one was way gone, and it counted for a home run.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Foul back. Nobody on. Payoff pitch for Rosado to Mara, and it's on the ground to short. Hernandez gloves it cleanly, sets, throws in time for the out, 1 away. You think about all of the drama going on with this Dustin Richardson, Rob Butler stuff, and the midseason resignation, and the statement on social media, and then my interview, which ended up getting a whole lot of attention. And you think about all of that and how it may be affecting the players on this team, positively or negatively, because often when there's controversy or disharmony in a clubhouse and the playoffs begin, you'll just see a team either lose its motivation or mail it in, so to speak. There's a base hit off the bat of Dennis DeManning. And this Toronto team, that's certainly not been the case. They are determined to win this series. There is no quit in this team and in this dugout right now. And one of the things Dustin pointed out to me was that there are a lot of players on this team that share his concerns and are sort of, taking his side, so to speak, in this situation that has unfolded. But clearly the players still want to win. Nobody's mailing it in here.
I think this happened early on enough in the season. It happened in about early June. Richardson's last appearance as a Maple Leaf in IBL regular season play was July 6th. So it happened early enough where there's a lot of time for the players to kind of let this go, so to speak, in terms of you don't want to let it linger in your heads as you're trying to play baseball and win games. Heading into the playoffs, obviously a fresh slate, knowing that part of the season's done and over with.
0-1 count here to Ross. Runner leads. And drawing a throw is Dennis DeManning. Well, it tells me one of two things. Either, number one, the players aren't paying any attention to this and they're not distracted by it at all. Or number two, they care too much about winning to let any of it bother them. And they're going to try to take this series and just go full steam through the playoffs here. It's not like anybody's saying, you know what, this stinks, I quit, I give up. And that's certainly a positive for this organization and for the fans that love this team. Another close call, 1-1 the count.
DeManning stole a base on Thursday night here. Only stole a few in the regular season, but still could be a threat here in the postseason.
One ball, one strike. Rosado comes set, looks in, delivers. Called strike, 1-2.
Something I've really liked about Rosado so far in this outing is he hasn't fallen into that phase of taking a long time in between pitches like we've seen from him a lot this year. We didn't see that, those lingering deliveries earlier on that first inning.
Here's the pitch. Missed low. Count 2-2.
That's what I mean earlier when I said that home run might have been a wake-up call for him. Obviously, he didn't fall into the, taking 15 seconds to throw a pitch each time. He's been rather consistent.
Yeah, really just made the 2 mistakes. Solo home run to Ryan DeSantos, solo home run to Marcus Connect. Other than that, he's been pretty good. He's been getting out of innings with runners on. He's kept us a 2-0 game against a very explosive offense. And if anyone was concerned that Rosado doesn't care about winning this game, I think those concerns have certainly been alleviated based on what we've seen through the first third of this game. Runner goes. Pitch is high. Here's the throw. The tag! In time for the out! Andrew Johnston throws out Dennis DeBanning. 2 down in the inning.
Couldn't have asked for a better pop time there from Andrew Johnston, and that made it look so easy. That release was so fast after he caught that pitch, and the throw was on the money.
So Rosado now a strike away from getting out of this 4th inning. Baycat fans are behind him. Ross is ready. Johnston puts down the sign. Now Ross wants time as Rosado was taking a little too long.
Johnston only threw out one batter in the one base runner in the regular season on 4 stolen base attempts.
Payoff pitch. Line drive to short, right into the glove of Hernandez. That'll do it. 3.5 in the books. 2-0 Toronto at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Fourth inning of play is brought to you by Vintage Throne Barber Lounge, redefining gentlemen one community at a time.
Top of the order, Noel McGarry Doyle, Brandon Hernandez, and Francisco Hernandez. Never a good thing when you're sending 1, 2, 3 back up to the plate to start the 4th. That's the situation here for Barrie. No runs, no hits on Josh Berenbaum.
Berenbaum struck out 4 and retired each of the first 9 batters he's faced. McGarry Doyle was showing bunt there, seeming to get anything going. Obviously, Dos Santos at third is going to be a bit more cautious now.
1-0 pitch, fouled off. We saw an enormous amount of bunting in the final 2 regular season games here last weekend. Not as much bunting through the first 2 games of this series, but if the Baycats' offensive woes continue, they're going to need to get some base runners on one way or another. Swing and a miss by McGarry Doyle, 1 and 2.
Well, we've seen it before from Noel McGarry Doyle, just trying to get something going late in games. But you usually don't want to pull that out this early.
2-0 Toronto. Berenbaum's pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3, a clean catch by Mara. No throw needed. 1 away. Here's Brandon Hernandez.
Hernandez put the best bat on ball for a Baycat so far today. The only out that wasn't a strikeout or a ground out up the middle. Went the other way for a deep fly ball caught by Boscarino.
First pitch strike. Brandon went 1 for 4 in game 1, 1 for 3 in game 2. He's behind in the count here, no balls and 2 strikes.
He doubled in the first inning on Friday to really get things going for Barrie, but ended up being stranded on base.
Pitch up high. Well, we are only halfway through this series, if it goes the full 5, and who would have thought that Toronto pitching would be one of the big storylines so far, early on here. Base hit right field. Barrie gets their first hit of the game. It comes off the bat of Brandon Hernandez.
Exactly what Barrie needed, just a spark to get something going offensively. It's Brandon Hernandez yet again to try and get things started and give way for his brother to kind of add on. You mentioned it, the pitching for Toronto has been extremely impressive. Wilhelmus Alvarado matching up against Frank Garces did not disappoint in game 1. Franklin Hernandez only allowed 3 earned runs in 5 innings or 6 innings, on Friday night.
First pitch strike to Francisco Hernandez. The Baycats with their first hit and first base runner of this game this afternoon. Hard to explain the Baycats' offensive woes here in this series. They appeal to first, and he wins. Ryan Hern making the call at first. It's a 1-1 count.
You know, watching Baycats batting practice today, there are quite a few players that were, putting really nice barrels on the ball, but still frustrated because they know that it doesn't count until it's in the game.
Popped up, playable. Will Berenbaum take it himself? It looks like he will. Right on the mound. 2 down. Pitchers don't usually take those, but that was right where he was anyways. No need to complicate things.
Very few pitchers have the confidence to call off the rest of the infield and take a pop out like that.
Well, especially when you have a slope to deal with. I mean, that was right on the dirt of the mound. I mean, it wasn't nearly as high as the mound in Toronto, but still can be a little bit tricky just to get your footing and stay with it.
Yeah, obviously his eyes stayed on it even right off the bat of Francisco Hernandez.
You bail on that, and then you got the third baseman and the shortstop, and they got to figure out who's going to take it. And Berenbaum just wanted to avoid any of that potential confusion and made a smart play. 1-0 to Nolan Macabrota. Macabrota fouls it off. He struggled against Hernandez Friday, 0 for 4, in that 11-3 loss. That allowed Toronto to tie up this series.
He was 0 for 4 in game 1 as well, so you could argue that out of any of the Baycats in their lineup today, he's struggling the most.
1-1. Tried to check his swing. They're going to appeal, and he went.
Yeah, it even looked like from up here that he went around. Macabrota was robbed of a base hit in the 8th inning on Friday. Benjamin Sidorenios came in defensively, and first batted ball he saw, he dove and made a really nice catch.
Runner goes, 1-2 pitch. He's swinging, and it's a fly ball to left field. And the catch is made by left fielder Luca Boscarino. Baycats strand a runner. We have played 4 innings. It is a 2-0 Toronto lead, Game 3 of the first round of this IBL Best of 5 playoff series. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
The grand prize winner from that game in the middle. Your attention, please, now pitching for the Baycats, right-hander number 46, Ramon Henriquez.
Top of the 5th inning, Athletic Kulture Stadium, Game 3 of this IBL quarterfinal series. Toronto leads the Baycats 2-0, and as we thought, Cesar Rosado was having a really nice bounce-back start. Josh Matlow sticks to his game plan, goes to the bullpen for Ramon Henriquez.
And Henriquez put together a pretty respectable season after a couple of relief outings early on where he struggled greatly, settled down nicely, and was able to earn the confidence of manager Josh Matlow to be used in some important situations when it looked like he might need to be relegated to more of a low-leverage innings type of reliever. Struck out 25, walked 15, a 5.40 ERA. That doesn't really tell the whole story, though.
Had a few blow-up outings, in particular one in Chatham-Kent in that doubleheader. But had a few outings later on in the year where he didn't allow a run and was able to go multiple innings and rack up the strikeouts. High-velocity pitcher. Faces Dan Mara here to lead off the 5th, and it's a first-pitch strike.
We knew we would see Henriquez. That was the plan right from the get-go, and potentially very early in this game if Rosado got lit up early, but that didn't happen. A first at-bat home run off Ryan DeSantos, but after that, Rosado actually pitched about as well as you could ask for 4 innings, 2 runs, certainly a respectable outing. So,
second pitch high to Dan Mara. We saw Henriquez warming up after that hit by John Javier in the first inning. Right after 2 batters, Henriquez was already up and warming up. 1-1, just catches the play on the outside part.
Yeah, it's not like Rosado really showed any signs of unraveling in the 3rd or 4th inning, so it'll be interesting to ask Josh after the game if it crossed his mind at all to leave Cesar in to maybe get through the 5th and 6th as well, but
fans getting behind Henriquez. Here's a 1-2. That one just misses. Final line on Cesar Rosado goes 4 innings, allows 2 earned runs, both on home runs. Ryan DeSantos and Marcus Connect. Only allowed 1 walk and 5 total hits with 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, I think if you were to tell Josh Matlow before the game, that's going to be the line on Rosado through 4 innings, he definitely would take it.
Absolutely. Henriquez delivers a 2-2 on the ground, right back to him. Looping throw onto first is in time, and a quick first out for the Baycats reliever. Bring up the number 9 hitter, Luca Boscarino. He grounded out his first time up, but really got the power started on Friday night with a home run. Henriquez first pitch just misses low.
Only 2 for 4 of that game Friday at Christie Pitts. Leafs doing a good job putting the ball in play the last couple of games, especially on Friday after struggling against Frank Garces. 15 strikeouts.
Swings and misses that fastball. It's 1-1.
Just 1 strikeout so far this afternoon.
Nice pace here for Ramon Henriquez. A 1-1 is outside. Got to imagine Matt will want to reserve his use of multiple arms like he did on Friday. Saw Chris Nagorski come in for Juan Benitez, and then Brad Grieveson, and later on Adam Kahn. 2-1. On the ground again, it's right back to Henriquez. What more could you ask? Quick 2 outs, both 1-3 putouts.
Well, the approach has been working for Henriquez so far, keeping that ball down in the zone. The Leafs have just pounded the last 2 right into the ground, and it's worked out beautifully. A couple of 1-3 putouts here to get through the bottom of the order, and back to a guy who showed us he can burn you with some power, Ryan DeSantos.
DeSantos an RBI with that home run and a strikeout. And that strikeout was a 3-2 pitch, and he thought he worked a walk. Didn't necessarily agree with the call from home plate umpire Nick Leffler. Sees the first pitch, fouls it off his foot.
Elsewhere in the IBL, the London Majors on the brink of elimination. They are trailing the Royals 1-0 right now at Labatt Park in London after losing 6-3 to the Royals yesterday and a series opening 8-0 loss to the Royals on Friday. So here comes Guelph again.
In that game in the bottom of the 4th inning, it's 3-1 I'm seeing here.
3-1 Guelph.
3-1 Guelph.
Okay, you got a more recent score than I do. Oh, you're on Point Streak. I'm on the IBL website. That's why. Point Streak is always the more up-to-date of the two, I find.
DeSantos sees a called strike. It's 0-2.
So the Royals, I mean, they're a team that it just doesn't seem to matter where they finish in the regular season standings. They seem to have that high gear that they can find in the postseason.
Not a true 6 seed whatsoever. 0-2 pitches up high. And there's a reason that, Barrie and London were putting out their A lineups, as I mentioned, for that last game of the regular season. Nobody wanted to play Guelph, knowing how different that team looks compared to what we saw maybe just a couple weeks after the All-Star break. A 1-2 from Henriquez. DeSantos checks his swing, and he holds up. 2-2. Fans at Athletic Kulture Stadium disagree with the call.
So the Royals upset the Welland Jackfish in round 2 of the playoffs last year, and being a 6th seed, we could have a potential rematch for that, couldn't we?
Not in the second round. On the ground, foul right side. The winner of this series would play the winner of the London Guelph series. Not a reseed at the second round. It's a bracket. So the Welland will play either Hamilton or Chatham-Kent in the second round.
I thought they play the lowest seeded team in the standings no matter what.
No, it's a bracket.
Okay.
Called strike 3. DeSantos goes down looking once again. Ramon Henriquez, a 1-2-3 5th inning to start off his outing strong. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Still 2-0 Toronto on Baycats TV.
friends from Fort Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. Fifth inning is brought to you by One-Eyed Jack Barrie. Bring your same-day Baycats tickets before or after a game. Get 10% off your bill.
Julius, Hern, Ben, Davy along with you. Game 3 of the IBL quarterfinals, 2-0 Toronto. Josh Berenbaum has been cruising through his first 4 innings. Didn't allow a hit until the 11th batter he faced. That was Brendan Hernandez in the 4th, stranded him at first base. Tristan Clark lead it off for Barrie. Drives that one out to right field. That's going to get down in fair territory all the way to the corner. Extra bases for Tristan Clark. He's in standing up with a leadoff double.
And might have been able to take 3, but he decides to play it conservative and take 2 on it. He hit that one right down the line, and it went dead straight down towards the corner. Long throw in from Marcus Connect. Double all the way for Tristan Clark. Great start to this 5th for Barrie. Exactly what they needed.
You know that double meant a lot to Tristan Clark because he's been struggling as of late, as so has the team. But you don't really see that much of emotion out of Tristan Clark. Usually a very reserved player, but a fiery reaction towards the dugout once he got to second base.
Well, that's the kind of start to an inning you really want to see inject some energy into the rest of this lineup.
Adam Odd, first pitch to him is up and away. First time Barrie's had a runner in scoring position.
Well, we saw early signs of this offense struggling in game 1 of this series when they managed just 4 hits through 8 innings.
Well, that energy's got the fans going here. 1-0 to Odd is in the dirt, blocked by Mara.
2 hits through 4 innings here today, so really on the same pace as game 1. And that's not the kind of offense that's going to beat a team like Toronto most nights, although they were able to pull it off in the 9th inning in game 1 in this series here.
Before this inning, the team had just 14 hits in 22 innings. 2-0, called strike. Odd check to swing over it, but called the strike anyway.
And then when you do get those hits, you want them to come in the same inning rather than just scattered across 9. And I mean, that's the other tricky thing. If everybody's getting like 1 hit, going 1 for 4, but they're not coming in the same inning, you're not going to score any runs. So they really need to string some hits together here to try to get some runs on the board.
Tristan Clark at second. Josh Berenbaum's 2-1 to Odd. Driven high and slicing towards the right field line, foul territory, and Marcus Connect makes a nice running catch. Tristan Clark will tag up from second base and get into third base, so it's a productive foul out for Adam Odd. A long way to go there for Marcus Connect. That ball just kept hanging up, making the catch in foul territory.
Yeah, the Leafs trade the out for 90 feet on the bases. If that ball wasn't hit so high, it lands foul, and Clark stays at second base. But they get the out. Johnson will bat now with 1 away, and Baycats 90 feet away from getting on the board.
Johnston grounded out to short his first time up. Baycats dugout. Everyone's standing at the rail after that double from Clark. First pitch to Johnston. He fouled it away right side. That's going to slice out of play into the Baycats bullpen.
And that's definitely a good thing, and I've seen it all through this series, that the Baycats' energy and motivation seems to be there. Even though they have been struggling at the plate, there does seem to be a lot of positive energy coming from that dugout. It's nobody's hanging their head or feeling like this series is over by any means.
Called strike to Johnston. It's 0-2. You can see the negativity start to creep in a little bit, especially after the loss on Friday. But I think the off day did a lot for the mentality of this team to kind of push it aside and move on to game 3. 0-2 pitch from Berenbaum, a wave and a miss from Johnston, the tag by Marr to complete the strikeout.
Takes away the possibility of Barrie scoring on a deep fly ball, and Johnson's so mad he breaks the bat over his knee. He is not happy with himself.
Berenbaum really fooled him on that outside breaking ball. Looked like a slider out of his hand. This is Noah Hull, struck out his first time up, and he takes the first pitch strike.
You know, when you break the bat over your thigh, you've got to really make sure you break it, otherwise you look pretty silly.
6 strikeouts now for Berenbaum.
Johnson just snapped that thing into splinters.
Fouled away by Hall. Once again, another 0-2 count.
Throw that bat on the campfire when you get home tonight, I guess. That's about all it's good for now. Funny, we were just talking about the Baycats not showing frustration, and Andrew Johnson strikes out, heads back to the dugout, and complete frustration. So who knows what's going on in these players' minds, but they definitely must be feeling their backs are against the wall here.
0-2, Hull goes down swinging. Fiery reaction from Josh Berenbaum. Stares back Noah Hull as he heads back to the dugout. Strands Tristan Clark at third base. The Maple Leafs maintain a 2-0 lead as we head into the 6th inning. You're watching Baycats TV.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the Intercounty Baseball League and the Barrie Baycats Baseball Club. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or retransmission in any form is strictly prohibited. Julius, Hern, Ben Davy, top of the 6th inning, 2-0 Toronto still. Ramon Henriquez in a nice first inning of his outing in the 5th. Continues that into the 6th. We'll face John Javier to lead it off.
Javier 4 for 4. The 11-3 win on Friday, and he's reached base twice in this game. Shaping up to be a possible series MVP.
Henriquez, his first pitch is up and in. Singled in the first, walked in the third. 6 for 9 now in the series with 5 RBI. 1-0. Wave and a miss from Javier.
Can't say enough about the job Josh Berenbaum has done through 5, and I'm sure his afternoon is far from over the way he has been dealing. Punctuated by a strikeout on Noah Hull, Justin Mara and Josh Berenbaum both clenching their fists and really pumped up as they ran off the field to end that half inning.
1-1. Popped up, playable. Adam Odd rushing in. It looks like he's calling for it. He makes the basket catch for the first out. Yeah, Barenbaum only had 38 pitches through 3 innings, and despite allowing a couple hits, those 4th and 5th were rather quick.
First baseman number 5, Jordan Castaldo.
Yeah, the single by Brandon Hernandez in the 4th didn't phase him at all. Gives up a leadoff double to Tristan Clark, but made sure he didn't get any farther than third base, and that's the value of inning-ending strikeouts. Barenbaum got a pair of them to close out that 5th.
And they were both on 3 pitches, too.
Now that low pitch count, he's definitely got a couple of innings left in him.
7 strikeouts for him. This is Jordan Castaldo. Waves and misses at the first pitch from Henriquez.
Barenbaum kind of working the same way Frank Garces did in game 1 of this series when you compare the 2 games.
Oh, 1. Another cut and miss from Castaldo. And Garces was only really touched up in that 1 inning with 2 outs in that 3rd. Gives up a walk and a few hits in succession, and 2 runs come off of that, but only 3 hits for the Maple Leafs in that game.
Yeah, when all is said and done, this could even be a better outing by Barenbaum than Garces put together. Baycats have yet to get to him.
0-2 from Henriquez, just high. The oohs and ahs coming from the fans here in the bleachers.
Castaldo seems to get a lot of those close calls. He knows the strike zone so well and very respected as a hitter around this league.
He waits a 1-2, 1 out. Fans behind Henriquez. The pitch is low and in the dirt. I mentioned how Cesar Rosado started and the pace was very consistent from him. Even Henriquez has settled in nicely in terms of his time in between pitches. Two to Castaldo, up and away from 0-2 to 3-2.
I was a little surprised that Rosado was taken out after the 4th, to be honest with you. And I wasn't sure. I thought it might have been a short hook for him depending on how he did, but he battled hard, put 4 very good innings together, and clearly Josh Matlow had a game plan, and he's sticking to it here. Henriquez has retired 4 in a row.
It's 3-2 to Castaldo. Marcus Connect awaits on deck. Payoff pitch. Fouled back to the screen. Kind of an excuse me swing there from Castaldo, just trying to waste it a little bit.
Jordan Castaldo can run up your pitch count in a hurry when he wants to.
Henriquez comes set. Winds and deals. Up and away, Castaldo comes all the way back from 0-2 and works a 1-out walk.
Well, after a borderline pitch that was just a little up in the zone, according to home plate umpire Nick Leffler, Castaldo was able to work himself a walk out of that at-bat. And how many times have we seen Jordan Castaldo do that? Turn a potential strikeout into a walk. Happens a lot.
The magic of him and Ryan Dos Santos being able to do that has been so valuable to the Maple Leafs offense. First time Castaldo has reached today. Marcus Connect. That solo home run to lead off the 4th. Called strike there as he tried to check his swing. We've talked about this before, but it seemed like Marcus Connect, he was having a fantastic year before the All-Star break was selected, but couldn't play in the All-Star game due to an injury. But it seemed like after he came back from his oblique injury, really that power was in full force, more so than it was in the first half. 0-1, popped foul over our heads.
It's the roof just to our right, and it rolls down the back end of it, I think. Yeah, he really looked great coming back after his injury and obviously rehabbed it the way he needed to, and certainly some mid-season rest can definitely help a player with the grind of the season.
Oh-2 from Henriquez. Foul back again off the screen. Seems like Henriquez has really refined his control. Well, especially in his time with the Baycats, it came out with the Hamilton Cardinals to start the year, kind of a couple starts and lost a couple games. Was brought in by Josh Matlow to try and get him a bit more under control, and it's gotten much better through the course of the whole season. 0-2 again. Kanak drives it to left field. Clark going back on it, makes a running catch. 2 gone.
Clark with a great read on that ball right off the bat. He was able to track it to his right. Not a lot of height to that fly ball, so he had to get in the right spot in a hurry and took just the right amount of strides to get there.
This is Justin Mara now with 2 out and a runner on. Five home runs for the Maple Leafs in this series so far through 2.5 games. Baycats yet to cash in on the long ball so far in this postseason. First pitch to Mara, just low.
Mara had the misfortune of being behind home plate in that nightmarish play for Toronto in the 9th inning in Game 1 of this series and resulted in the Barrie walk-off win. Ball just went off his glove, went to the backstop, and made a throw that he didn't need to make, or at least an attempt at a throw when Hull wasn't even breaking for home plate at that point.
The 1-0 is low again. Yeah, didn't seem like there was any communication from not even just the dugout nearby, but nobody. Luis Florentino wasn't yelling, nobody's going. Usually you get something from the first baseman or the third baseman.
Yeah, the players on the field usually yell, "Eat it," or "No, no, no, no," just so not to make that throw. It was a bad throw by Mara.
Because it didn't even go all the way to the backstop.
The other surprise on that play was that Hull didn't break for home plate on the ball that went all the way back there, and he was told, be 100% sure if you're going to make an attempt on something like that, and he elected not to. And I noticed Adam Ott at home plate putting his hand up too for Hull to hold up. Kind of surprised me that he didn't just break on that right away.
Well, the ball didn't go all the way to the backstop. It stayed on the grass. That's why it was so quick for Justin Mara to get back to the ball and get a hand on it. 3-0, called strike. Fans here in Barrie didn't like the call on that 2-0 pitch.
Yeah, they thought Enriquez was pinched earlier in the at-bat and has to give him something good to hit here on the 3-1.
3-1, 2 out. Jordan Castaldo at first. Fouled away by Mara.
Well, this next pitch will be a big one. And the crowd will get into this as well, as this Baycat lineup needs to get back up to the plate and try to get something going off Josh Berenbaum. Situation like this, the quicker you can get back up there, the better.
Castaldo will be off on the pitch. 3-2, 2 out. Henriquez comes set. Pitch to Mara. Caught on and missed. Big strikeout there for Ramon Henriquez, stranding a base runner. It's brought to you by IMP North. It ends the top of the 6th inning, but the Leafs still hold the 2-0 lead over Barrie. Head to the bottom of the 6th inning. You're watching Baycats TV.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Bottom of the 6th inning, pitches thrown Athletic Kulture Stadium. It's brought to you by Moving.ca. 2 small men with big hearts moving. Your original Canadian 2-man movers. When you think 2 men, think with big hearts, your Canadian choice.
Josh Berenbaum has been cruising, as I mentioned. 5 shutout innings so far, 7 strikeouts, only allowed 2 hits. Clayton Keys to lead off for Barrie. And he cuts through. Couldn't hold up on a check swing. 0-1.
So 65 pitches for Berenbaum through 5 innings. So when you're getting through each inning, like, what is that, 12, 13, 14 pitches an inning? Not even that, I don't think. You're doing pretty good.
Yeah, longest half inning for him, 21 pitches, we've been told.
47 strikes, 65 pitches coming into this inning.
0-2's up high.
Yeah, 13 pitches an inning.
Berenbaum looking for strikeout number 8, and he gets it. Big cut and miss from Clayton Keys. First out of the 6th.
3 straight strikeouts for Berenbaum. As he mows through the bottom third of the order, they are a combined 0 for 9 today.
Seen a lot of those big swings that kind of Clayton Keys swinging out of his shoes. Had a couple strikeouts on Thursday in game 1 here. McGarry Doyle shows bunt and goes through it for a strike.
It's amazing when you talk about offensive woes, and as pressure builds, it can have a compounding effect on the entire lineup, where everybody's just squeezing the bat a little more.
Gets the bunt down. Ryan Dos Santos charges into field, and the throw is off the glove of Castaldo. So McGarry Doyle reaches. Barrie has a base runner here in the 6th.
Should probably be E3 as that ball went off Castaldo's glove. If he catches that, McGarry Doyle's out. We'll see how they score it. Throw definitely beat him. Great effort by McGarry Doyle, though, not to give up on that. And
it's being scored a hit.
they're going to give him a hit.
I more so agree with you, to be honest.
Well, I mean, if Castaldo catches the ball, he's out.
I agree.
So I don't know how it's not an error, but take nothing away from Noel.
Last time he was up, he showed bunt and ended up striking out. And then Brandon Hernandez after him singled. He's up now, and it's an 0-1 count.
I mean, when your team only has 2 hits in the ball game, you may as well add a third. So,
breaking ball inside, swung through by Hernandez. 0-2 right away.
want to stay out of the double play here. We'll see if Berenbaum goes low with this next pitch.
Ryan Dos Santos still playing in shallow at third base as time is called by Hernandez right at the start of the windup.
Was a late call. He's very lucky he got away with that. A lot of umpires wouldn't have given that to him.
So Berenbaum resets. Hernandez resets. 0-2. Fly ball, foul territory on the left side. It's going to get out of play towards the Toronto bullpen.
You know, we haven't seen a whole lot of declined, if any, declined requests for time at home plate this year, but for the most part, players will ask for time, you know, well before the pitcher starts his windup.
Another 0-2 here from Berenbaum. Runner goes and foul back to the screen by Hernandez.
That was a great jump by Noel McGarry Doyle. Berenbaum was paying no attention to him at all. I was actually worried that he might spin and pick him off. And again, the hit and run, which Barrie has done so many times this year, trying to protect that base runner.
Just with the way that McGarry Doyle is leading, you can tell he's kind of leaning towards going. Stays put this time. Hernandez lines it into right center field. A base hit. McGarry Doyle rounding. He's going to go to third. Runners on the corners now for Barrie and 1 out.
Good job by McGarry Doyle. Even without the hit and run on that play, he's able to get all the way to third base.
Number 0, Francisco
Back-to-back hits for the Baycats, top of the order. This is exactly how you need to get it done.
That ball fell shallow enough and far enough away from Dennis Day Banning that Gary Doyle very confident he was able to take that extra 90 feet. And once again, Barrie is 90 feet away from their first run on the board. First time today with multiple base runners against Josh Barenbaum. First pitch to Francisco Hernandez just catches the outside part of the plate.
You know, best of 5 series are so exciting and so interesting to me because in a situation like this, it kind of feels like it's the Baycats on the brink of elimination here, even though they can still pull off the series if they lose today. But if they fall down 2-1, the way this offense is struggling, it's going to be awfully hard for them to come back. On the other hand, if they pull out a win here today, suddenly they can clinch this on Tuesday night in Toronto.
It's kind of like that Game 5 in a best-of-7 series.
Exactly. So much is at stake here in this Game 3.
1-1 in the dirt, blocked by Mara.
But when you're struggling the way the Baycats are offensively, that puts all the more importance on getting the job done here today. Doesn't have to be pretty. Certainly wasn't pretty in Game 1, but they got it done.
2-1 here on Francisco Hernandez. His brother at first, Noel McGarry Doyle at third. Runner goes from first. The throw down from Mara. Scooped. It gets into center field. Past Spencer Ross. McGarry Doyle scores. Brandon Hernandez to third, and Barrie's on the board.
Mara is having a very heated discussion here with home plate umpire Nick Leffler. I think that maybe making the case that he was blocked.
Yeah, he's definitely arguing for batter's interference. Here comes Brian Sewell, to have a chat with Leffler.
I was surprised Mara made the throw, to be honest with you, because it had to be perfect.
Well, Mara didn't get up. If I recall, he threw the ball from his knees, and the umpiring crew is going to come together and have a chat.
Well, if they reverse this, you're going to hear it from the Baycat dugout. I didn't see any interference on the play, but that's just from my own naked eye up here. We don't have the benefit of replay, of course. They're going to talk about it and see if somebody else was able to pick something up.
Josh Matlow standing above that top step on the Baycats dugout, watching this discussion closely.
The way Mara reacted, there must have been something, because he came up, he sprung up and was adamant that there was something.
So the call stands. Justin Mara clearly not happy still. Josh Matlow's going to go out anyway just to clarify. But Barrie on the board, it's 2-1.
Only one out in the inning as well, so again, surprised Mara would make that throw knowing that the speedster Noel McGarry Doyle was at third base, and even if that ball didn't get away, there's a threat that runner from third is going to come streaking home as soon as the catcher releases the ball.
So scored in E2, and Josh Matlow's he's asking to check Justin Mara for some substances. It's been a theme I've heard about this the first couple games. Baycats have noticed Justin Mara possibly going to his equipment for some kind of sticky substance, but check from the umpire, and here's some barking back from Justin Mara.
Mara and Matlow now exchanging some words, and Matlow with a big grin on his face, and Justin obviously rattled from the previous play. Good eye by yours, Julius, to pick up on that. I was wondering what that was all about. And
back to baseball, 2-2 to Francisco Hernandez on the ground. Dive! Spencer Ross dives, can't come up with it. Hernandez scores. We are tied.
Ross was playing in just a step or two and was unable to come up with that ball despite a good diving attempt. So I have to think if he was playing back maybe another step or two, he would have been able to come up with that.
The infield came in, and a hard hit ball right past Spencer Ross. And it's a 2-2 game. Nolan Macabrota comes up. Francisco Hernandez on first, one out. Barenbaum's pitch, fly ball, Shallow left field. Spencer Ross gets called off by Boscarino, who makes the catch.
And the frustrations continue for Nolan Macabrota. He really tossed that bat back to the dugout pretty much all the way there, rather than just dropping it at home plate and running. 0 for 3 today, just unable to really get anything going at the plate here in this playoff round.
This is Tristan Clark now with 2 outs. This provides some context on that substance check. I heard about some Baycats noticing something in Game 1. Game 2, I was watching a bit for it while I was at Christie Pitts. Didn't notice it from Justin Mara. But obviously Barrie asking for the check anyway here in Game 3. First pitch to Clark's a strike.
Well, the timing of that substance check was interesting because it came immediately after that play at home plate where Mara it looked like was trying to claim interference.
Throw over to first, and diving back is Hernandez.
Made a bad throw that produced a run, and Matlow decided to use that as the opportunity to ask for a substance check rather than between innings, which is a little more common. It's not something we see much of at all here in the IBL, to be honest with you.
Wave and miss from Clark, loses his elbow guard in the process. Maybe in this case, Matlow's just trying to piggyback on the frustrations of Justin Mara after he was arguing for a batter's interference call.
He's trying to get in his head a little bit.
Yeah.
Some gamesmanship.
Looked like a rather quick check anyway.
Mara did not respond to it well, I can tell you that.
0-2, runner goes. Clark jams him a bit, gets into center field and dropping for a base hit. Hernandez holds up at third, and once again, runners on the corners for Barrie.
I think that ball held up a little bit longer than Dave Banning expected. He was playing that as just a base hit to drop in front of him, but a better read on that ball, and he's got the speed and athleticism, I think, maybe to make that close.
Barrie with 4 hits in this inning, doubling their total of the previous 5. And now out hitting Toronto 6-5.
Maybe not a bad decision by Dave Banning just to play it on a hop and face Adam Odd here rather than, make a diving attempt. Potentially the ball gets away, and then all of a sudden it's a 3-2 ball game. So
Adam Odd, first pitch from Barenbaum. That's a called strike. It looked like Tristan Clark didn't get the barrel on it, was kind of in the inside part of his bat, and that's why it maybe jammed him a little bit, held up, a little looper into center field, but Baycats the beneficiary of those physics. Odd grounds it to second. Dan Mara scoops it up. Throw into first is in time. This inning comes to an end, but not before Barrie comes through with 4 hits and 2 runs to tie this ball game. We go to the 7th inning. Ben Davy back on the mic to call this one for you on Baycats TV.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Seventh inning here at Athletic Kulture Stadium, Springwater Township. Ben, Davy, and Julius Hern with you, and the Baycats and the Maple Leafs now tied 2-2. Ramon Enriquez back out to work the seventh. He will face Dennis Day-Banning from the Maple Leafs, number 6 hitter. 1 for 2 today.
All of a sudden, it's a brand new ball game. You know, Josh Berenbaum was cruising that those first 5 innings, and now there's action in the Maple Leafs bullpen.
First pitch to Day-Banning, and it's hit on the ground, left side, through into left field for a base hit. So the Baycats have to be feeling good to get a couple of runs off Josh Berenbaum, who was absolutely cruising today. They send 7 batters to the plate, and that's not something they've done a whole lot of lately. Managed to get 2 across to make this a 2-2 tie. The offensive production has been light in this first round playoff series for the Baycats so far.
Well, we didn't know exactly who was going to be the Maple Leafs starter, even an hour before first pitch. But I know if it was going to be Berenbaum, the Baycats were very confident in themselves, but Berenbaum proved them wrong.
Bunt by Ross, back to the mound, barehanded by Enriquez, 1 play, and he makes it, and that is to first base. Runner advances. So nice job by Ross in a 2-2 tie. I get that important base runner over to second, and
number 6,
Dan Mara now will try to bring him in.
Saw Merrick Defsko warming up earlier, and now it's Luis Florentino, warming up in the Maple Leafs bullpen. Took the loss on Thursday in Game 1.
Two-two tie. Nobody out, top of the 7th. Veteran Dan Mara. Here's the pitch. Up the middle, and a short hop. Goes off the glove of Mara, or of the second baseman Hernandez. Throws to first. Runner advances to third, so Day-Banning now 90 feet away. Runners on the corners for the Maple Leafs now with 1 away, and Luca Boscarino will bat.
Fielder number 84, Luca Boscarino.
So Toronto up to some trouble here on the top of the 7th.
Scored a hit there for Dan Mara despite, hard hit ball, but Hernandez going for the pick instead of charging in.
Middle infield double play depth on the ground down the line, and it is
Foul.
Guess that caught a piece of his foot, or
Yeah. Fouled off the ground and off of his ankle.
count 0-1. Boscarino waggles the bat, and a check on the runner. Got some family traveling to the U.S. today. This final, hard to believe, it's the last full week of summer. And just trying to enjoy that. They're on the road right now, and they said, oh, we're going to miss the rest of the first round of the playoffs. I said, well, don't forget, we've got the games on YouTube for you as well. You don't have to watch them on cable. Swing and a miss by Boscarino. Baycats TV on YouTube. They catch the games on Rogers at home, but we've got all the home games televised for you on YouTube as well. The beauty of the internet. And Leafs baseball has the road games from Christie Pitt, so you don't have to miss any of these playoff games while you're traveling. 2-2 pitch. Low. Full count. Thomas West and company will have Game 4 from Christie Pitt's Tuesday night. Julius and I will be back for Game 5 if it's needed here on Wednesday. 2 on, 1 out. Enriquez with the pitch. Popped up. Back near the screen. Johnston watching. Makes the catch. 2 down.
Seen that a couple times now for manager Johnston. Look very composed, going back to the backstop to make a couple of those catches here today. And they're going to check on Dan Mara at first. Tagged up and went to second.
Never a bad idea to make that appeal. Johnson's back to the play, of course, and was helped out by his teammates there who maybe thought that Mara had left the bag early, but no luck on the appeal. So 2 in scoring position now.
That's heads-up base running there from Dan Morrow. Taking second on a pop-up right behind the plate. Very difficult.
You don't see that very often.
Morrow was doubled up on some poor base running on Friday. Luca Boscarino was at the plate. He was on first, swung and missed the pitch as he was heading to second, and Morrow thought it was foul, and he ended up being doubled up.
Yeah, really smart play by Morrow when you think about it. Probably in his mind, he's thinking, he saw that he had time to tag, and if Johnson throws down, you've got Dave Manning at third, who could come streaking home as well. This is a 2-2 tie, so you don't want to forget about that runner at third base. Johnson would have had to throw him out cleanly to end the inning. Potential go-ahead run could have crossed. 2 balls, no strikes. Enriquez. The first third inning of work here. Delivers high. 3-0. First base open, but you don't want to face John Javier. They're going to come right at DeSantos here. Try to finish this inning.
3-0 count, so tough on DeSantos. The guy works, walks so well. We've already seen it many times in this series.
If he wants a walk, he'll get it in this at bat at some point.
Had 3 on Friday.
Here's the pitch. He's taking all the way, and it's ball 4. Dave Manning at third, Dan Mara at second, DeSantos at first, and Mr. John Javier comes to the plate, and Josh Matlow is out for a chat with Ramon Enriquez. I think he has signaled to the bullpen already. We'll see if he takes the baseball. And he does. So Ramon Enriquez will get a really nice hand from this crowd, and deservedly so. He inherited a 2-0 deficit and was able to stack up some zeros so the Baycats could tie this game at 2. A pitching change. We'll step aside. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie. Seventh inning at Athletic Kulture Stadium, 2 away, and the Baycats give the ball to Carlos Sano. Certainly can't say enough about the outstanding regular season he came out with out of the bullpen for the Baycats this year.
An incredible year as mainly the Baycats closer led the team in ERA among qualified pitchers, 1.03 on the year in 18 appearances. One of them was a start. 5-1 record and 26 in the third innings.
Maybe the toughest out in the Toronto lineup right now, John Javier at the plate. With the bases loaded, it's a first pitch strike from Sano.
You got to imagine that was what's going through Josh Matlow's mind, knowing it's Javier coming up with the bases loaded. You have Carlos Sano warming up. It was an abbreviated warm-up in the bullpen, at least it looked like. He wasn't warming up for all that much, in terms of this inning.
0-1 pitch from Sano. And it's hit to right field. It'll stay up for Clayton Keys, who gobbles that up for an inning-ending flyout. Maple Leafs leave the bases loaded in the seventh. We go to the bottom of the inning, tied at 2 here at Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
I'm Christie fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Seventh inning of play is brought to you by Sleeman Beer. Real ones know.
Josh Barrenbaum has been outstanding for the Leafs in this third game of the first round. Barrie and Toronto will face Andrew Johnston, Noah Hull, Clayton Keys. Bottom third of the order. He has dominated them so far today. Combined 0 for 6.
It was really that third time through the order, at least so far, that's given him trouble. 4 hits in the 6th, allowing those 2 runs. But an error by Justin Mara contributing to a couple runs scoring for Barrie.
Pretty good ball game when you can get to the 7th inning and have a chance to just go through the order 3 times, and that's exactly what Barrenbaum is trying to do here. Swing and a miss by Johnston. 1-1. Johnston with the ground out and a strikeout today.
8 strikeouts on the outing for Barrenbaum so far.
Broken bat to first. 1 away.
Second broken bat he's had today, if you consider the one that he broke over his leg earlier.
1 off the thigh and 1 off the baseball.
Designated hitter number 28, Noah Hull.
It's going to have quite a campfire tonight. Everybody brings s'mores to the Johnston house. Noah Hull has had a frustrating game as well with 2 strikeouts.
He's 0 for his last 5. Singled to start the game on Friday, but was doubled up after Clayton Keys lined it straight to Jordan Castaldo at first. And it was an unassisted double play.
Barrenbaum has 4 strikeouts against the bottom third of the order. And that's what you want to do. You want to really get through the outs that you think you can get. You want to mow through those as quickly as you can. And 6, 7, 8, 9, none of them have reached base for Barrie today. Odd, Johnston, Hall, and Keys.
He's been able to work quickly this whole game. Even when you imagine he's approaching 90 pitches or maybe just past it, he's still got a really nice pace to him on the mound.
Swing and a miss by Hull, 2-2. Yeah, anytime I look down at my notes or my scorebook here and then I look back up, he's already in his windup. He's got a good rhythm going here.
And Noah Hull swung and missed at that pitch, and he was visibly frustrated at himself.
Throws one low, full count now. Clayton Keys on deck. Barrie and Toronto tied 2-2. Baycats finally got on the board in the 6th. And Berenbaum wants a new baseball. Toronto bullpen had action earlier. It's quiet now.
Yeah, I think Luis Florentino just sat down. He was warming up the first couple pitches of the inning.
His arm might be ready. Fouled off to the left. The at-bat will continue.
I would imagine if Rob Butler's standing by, he's outside the dugout there on that third base side. So if there's a runner in scoring position, that might be it for Berenbaum if Florentino's ready.
Foul back to the screen. Bright sunshine here in this early evening, Sunday night. Barrie and Toronto. Game 3, 3-2 pitch on the ground and through into right field. A base hit for Noah Hull. He looks over at his teammates in the dugout and as if to say, finally, maybe alleviating some of his own frustrations on that baseball.
Well, here comes Rob Butler. We noticed that Florentino might be ready. He's standing by and on his way out of the bullpen.
Bottom of the 7th here in Barrie. Clayton Keys comes to the plate, 1 on, 1 out. Luis Florentino into the game for the Maple Leafs in relief of Josh Berenbaum.
Yeah, I saw Merrick Desko warming up earlier on, a couple innings ago, but they go to Florentino, another right-hander. He pitched an inning in 2/3 on Thursday, ended up taking the loss, 1 earned run allowed on 2 hits, had a couple strikeouts and a walk.
14 regular season appearances for the Maple Leafs, 10 out of the bullpen, 4 starts, 1-1 record with 1 save, and an ERA of 3 exactly. Important notes here for the Maple Leafs, bottom of the 7th, Baycats with a man on. Here's the pitch, off speed and in, 1-1. Keys 0 for 2. Noel McGarry Doyle, leadoff man, waiting on deck. Pretty nice hole between short and third if Keys can find it. Here's the pitch. It's up high.
Especially with Dos Santos playing level with that third base bag.
Looks like he's expecting maybe the 5-4-3 double play.
Yeah.
Or 5-6-3.
And Spencer Ross playing rather close to second base with a right-hander up.
Yeah, shifted around the opposite way from what you would expect. That one low and off the plate. And now a 3-1 count to Clayton Keys. This is not a batter that Florentino wants to lose and face the top of the order with 2 on. Three-one pitch. Keys is swinging and he fouls it over.
Had to have been really good for him to get a green light there on 3-1 with a new pitcher on the bump.
I thought he'd be taking all the way. He knows he'll see something good here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hull at first, 1 out. Pitch from Florentino, runner goes, swing and a miss. The throw down, the tag, not in time. A very low throw from Justin Mara. Didn't get much on that vertically.
Yeah, Florentino had to dodge that throw down. It was very low and straight on towards that second base bag. But Noah Hall with an elusive slide to get past Spencer Ross with that throw ahead of that second base bag.
The Keys had to be careful that interference wasn't called on him as well too on the follow through on that swing. Didn't want to get in the way of Mara trying to make the attempted throw down to second. Hull got in there though, so he's in scoring position with 2 away. McGarry Doyle, first pitch swinging, fouls it off to the left. Two-two, game 3. Winner gets a chance to clinch in Toronto on Tuesday night. Baycats have not led in this game. That one hit him. First base open. He'll put the bat aside and make his way to first. And Brandon Hernandez comes to the plate.
It looked like it went off of maybe a shin guard for Noel McGarry-Doyle. I saw a massive ricochet back towards the Maple Leafs dugout.
First pitch from Florentino gets the inside part of a plate for a strike. Well, you look at it, the Baycats really haven't led much in this series. They had a very short 1-0 lead in game 2 when they scored first in the top half of the first inning. That didn't last very long. Of course, they had the walk-off win in game 1, but didn't lead through that game, and they haven't led in this one. So what an opposite from last year's playoff where they never trailed after completed innings for 93 innings or whatever it was.
Yep.
Exact different situation here so far.
Yeah, because even when Barrie got on the board first on Friday, Toronto answered right back in the bottom half.
So other than the walk-off win, they have not led after a completed inning. Other than that 9th inning of game 1. Hate to say it, but it's complete inverse from last year so far. Still early in this playoff, but
It was weird. The vibe around the team on Friday that they were down 3 after the 5th, and it seemed like that was a closer deficit than the 1-run deficit on Thursday.
well, it really did, especially given the ballpark they're playing in. No lead is safe at Christie Pitts. Sometimes a 1 or 2 run lead can seem insurmountable here. But the Baycats have managed to tie this one at 2. 2 on, 2 out. Brandon Hernandez at the plate. Luis Florentino kicks and delivers. Foul at home plate.
A lot of inside break on that pitch from Florentino. Seen it a couple times in this at-bat with Brandon Hernandez.
He's not leaving anything hanging out over the plate, that's for sure. Not in this at-bat. Just running him inside. Let's see what he does here. 2-2 the pitch. And just staying alive is Hernandez.
Yeah, caught a stitch on that pitch, and Mara just couldn't hold on to it.
Count 2-2. Hernandez does like to crowd the plate. He's in close. Here it comes. And a foul into the glove for a 3rd strike. That'll do it. An inning-ending strikeout for Luis Florentino. Barrie strands 2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. We're still tied at 2 as we go to the 8th. Rogers TV Barrie and Baycats TV YouTube. Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Ben Davy and Julius Hern at Athletic Kulture Stadium, Springwater Township, Game 3, best of 5. Between Toronto and Barrie, we're tied at 2. Carlos Sano back out there to pitch for Barrie after getting an inning-ending flyout off the bat of John Javier.
That was a big out coming in with the bases loaded. Arguably the most dangerous hitter in the Maple Leafs lineup right now at the plate. In retrospect, you got to wonder if that was maybe the game plan for Josh Matlow, knowing it was Javier coming up and making that move in the moment.
Maybe the toughest out in that Toronto lineup and the most important out of this series so far for Barrie. Toronto strands the bases loaded and a clean inning for Sano here in the 8th. Not an easy situation. Bases loaded, 2 out. Sano got the fly ball. Fouled off to the left, and Castaldo now with a 1-1 count on Carlos Sano. Sano with a long look in. The Dominican right-hander. As Johnston puts down the signs, and now Sano gets the one he wants. Pitch to Castaldo on the way. On the ground, right side. Handled cleanly. And stepping on the bag is Nolan Macaroto, one away.
Sano varies his rhythm quite often. You can see on that pitch he was taking quite a while in between. But on some, he's very quick to deliver.
It's been an all-or-nothing kind of afternoon for Marcus Connect. He grounded into a double play to end the first, but then hit a solo shot to start off the 4th. Flight out in the 6th, so he's 1 for 3 today. First pitch, fastball from Carlos Sano. It's a called strike.
And he lined out to left in the 6th. If that wasn't caught by Tristan Clark, it definitely could have scored a run with Castaldo at first. That ball was hit so hard out to left.
Both teams have 2 runs. Both teams have 7 hits. We're in the 8th. Sano to Connect. Low. Connect 2 for 5 on Friday night in Toronto. He's ready. On deck, Justin Mara. And again, Sano, as you mentioned, really slowing it down. Nobody on. And now Connect wants time. That'll drag this at-bat out even longer. I wonder in a situation like that what Sano is looking for. Johnston can only put down so many fingers.
You got to imagine what he's really looking for. It's 1-1, nobody on.
First pitch, and it's a ground ball to short. Backhanded by Hernandez. Long throw. It's in time for the out. Sano has retired 3 in a row. Here's Justin Mara.
Catcher number 9, Justin Mara.
Really nice play there from Hernandez. A long way to go and a long throw to make with Connect. He's speedier than you might think he is. Gets him by maybe a step and a half.
Sano with the first pitch, bounces up to the plate, to the backstop. Mara 0 for 3. These Mara brothers have a long history of playoff performance. Justin, the catcher, and Dan, the second baseman. A third Mara brother, Adam, is a pitcher for this team as well. That one, almost same kind of pitch. Right into the dirt. Sano behind, 2-0.
I think if you're Justin Mara, you might think that those two might be intentional. Because he was staring back at Sano after that second pitch.
Seems like the Baycats are trying to get in his head just a little bit here in this ball game. He was subject to an equipment inspection, and he hits this one high and deep to right field. It's out of here. Three solo home runs by the Maple Leafs today. Dos Santos connects, and Justin Mara. And listen to these Toronto fans. This sounds like a home game for the Leafs here. That crowd fired up, as is the Toronto dugout right now.
Well, that ball was gone right off the bat of Justin Mara, just like we saw at Christie Pitts on Friday.
Well, you can try to get in his head all you want. He is a veteran hitter, has power, and took that one a long way. First run off Carlos Sano in this game. Here's a high fly ball. Shallow, playable, and the catch is made by Clayton Keys. So the home run by Justin Mara in the 8th gives Toronto back the lead. It's 3-2 Maple Leafs as we go to the bottom of the 8th on Rogers TV Barrie and Baycats TV YouTube.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Eighth inning of play is brought to you by United Way, Simcoe, Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Back for the Baycats, second baseman number 0, Francisco Hernandez.
We're back live at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Baycats with their backs against the wall again. Down 3-2. Bottom of the 8th inning. Fans here must be wondering what's it going to take for just a nice, comfortable win. Took ninth inning heroics here on Thursday night to get a win there, and then back in Toronto they were handled convincingly by the Maple Leafs 11-3. Another nail-biter here today at home, 3-2 Toronto. Florentino and a bunt by Hernandez. That didn't work.
Well, I think if you're a Baycats fan, you're enlightened by the last couple innings. Scored 2 in the 6th, but you've gotten multiple base runners on in each of the last 2 innings. 4 hits in the 6th, a hit, a stolen base, and a hit batter in the 7th.
1-1 from Florentino. 2 balls and a strike. Guelph Royals have added to their lead in London. It's now 8-4 in the top of the 8th. If they can advance with a win in that series, actually it's 9-4 now. They've added another. Pitches inside, 3-1. Luis Florentino on in relief of starter Josh Berenbaum, who was spectacular today. Francisco Hernandez 1 for 3. Fouls that one to the right.
You could argue Francisco Hernandez has been the most productive Baycats hitter. A couple hits in this game, multiple hits in Thursday's series opener.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Foul back. Great at bat here by Hernandez.
That's a hard ball to foul off. Almost looked like he was coming right for him up high, and got the bat out in front early and got a piece of it.
Up high and off on the inside part of the bat as well. Not a whole lot of handle there for that ball to hit. 3-2 again. Called strike 3. Hernandez with a little skip towards first base, trying to sell that. He's rung up by the home plate umpire, Nick Leffler.
An eruption from the crowd, and can't quite see into the Baycats dugout from here, but you got to imagine they're frustrated about that as well.
So Barrie now with 5 outs left to work with. Nolan Macabrota had a very strong second half of the regular season, but has been unable to get it going here in round 1 of the playoffs. First pitch. Fouls it at home plate, strike 1.
All 3 of Luis Florentino's outs have been by strikeout. The only interruption there was, hey, Noel McGarry Doyle with the pitch.
Clayton Keys and the Hernandez brothers. Now, Baycats have yet to put a ball in play on Florentino. High and away. This crowd on the edge of their seats here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Baycats got to get a run here to tie this one up. Nolan Macabrota batting with 1 out in the 8th. Nobody on, 2-1 the count. Pitch on the way. Macabrota lifts it high and foul. Wind really picking up now. It's starting to blow in a little bit. It's still blowing from right to left. Brilliant, bright sunshine right now over the first base side as that sun just continuing to set.
It's been kind of sparse with the cloud cover we've had today.
2-2 popped up again. This one should be playable, though. DeSantos calls for it, takes it in foul territory, 2 away. Here's Tristan Clark.
You got to imagine the frustrations really set in here for Nolan Macabrota. 0 for 12 to start the series, a few strikeouts. Not the typical consistent hitter that we're used to seeing, at least in the regular season.
Clark has reached base twice. An important at bat here with 2 out in the 8th. Florentino's pitch, outside corner for a strike. This Toronto crowd loving the energy from Luis Florentino out there on the mound. He's precision pitching here in this 8th inning. Picking his spots and finding them. Swing and a miss by Clark, strike 2. Leafs fans making plenty of noise above that Toronto dugout. I wonder if they know what Sunday night traffic back to Toronto is like. This one on a rope to left, and the catch is made by Luca Boscarino. 3 up, 3 down go the Baycats in the 8th. Top of the 9th when we return. Toronto 3, Barrie 2 on Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! Ninth inning, Athletic Kulture Stadium. Leafs coming to bat, looking to add some insurance. They're up 3-2. They will face Carlos Sano once again. Sano just one mistake so far in this relief appearance. A solo home run to Justin Mara.
That was his first home run that he'd allowed all season. That's how good his year was, an ERA just above 1 on the regular season.
Bottom third of the order, Spencer Ross, Dan Mara, Luca Boscarino for Toronto. Sano's pitch, inside. 3 runs, 8 hits for Toronto, 2 runs, 7 hits for the Baycats. Can't recall the last game we had here where all of the scoring came from solo home runs. 3 solo home runs for Toronto here. DeSantos, Connect, Justin Mara. 2 of those off starter Cesar Rosado. And as mentioned, 1 off Carlos Sano.
Yeah, Toronto's pitching has been so good. They have limited Barrie to 7 hits in this game, but no homers in the series.
Two balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And it's low. 3-1. Good at bat here by Spencer Ross, working the count in his favor. Winner of this game will get a chance to clinch Tuesday night in Toronto. Thomas West and company will have that broadcast on the Leafs Baseball YouTube page. Certainly love to have a good contingent of Baycat fans down there for that game. Tuesday night, that is for sure. And a walk to lead off the night. Ross is aboard. Game 5, if necessary, is right back here on Wednesday.
Second baseman number 6, Dan Mara.
Dan Mara, the veteran second baseman. So Sano will have a base runner now to deal with. He had the bases loaded behind him in the 7th. Got a fly ball to get out of that inning as Mara squares to bunt, pulls it back, and the pitch misses.
Even with the bunt shown there from Dan Mara, Spencer Ross still leaning back towards first base with his lead, even though there's a right-hander on the mound.
We saw that from him earlier in this game. It's almost like he's being super cautious not to get picked off. He was doing that against Rosado as well earlier.
But his lead's not that big to maybe even have that that big of a fear where you're visibly leaning so far back towards the bag.
Usually a base runner will lead the opposite way, especially if you're going to be a threat to steal, but if he's leaning back to the bag, clearly he's not going.
He's only a couple paces away from the bag on his lead.
Squares to bunts again. Sano hasn't pitched yet. He's already in position. Here it comes. And it stays at home plate. Just got a piece of the bat. Into the dirt it goes, 1-2. So the infield likely will go back now.
And Ross was off on the pitch. You got to wonder if maybe a hit and run still possible here for the Maple Leafs.
Adam Odd still even with the bag. He's backpedaling a little bit now. Middle infield ready for the ground ball at double play depth. Here's the crowd behind Carlos Sano. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Over to the Barrie dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They're in the 9th in London as well. The Royals 9-4 over the Majors. 3 outs away from being the first team to advance to round 2 in the playoffs.
Second team.
Sorry?
Second team, well in advance.
Wellens in. High fly ball, left center field. Catch is made by the left fielder, Tristan Clark.
Didn't make an attempt to try and throw out Spencer Ross at first. I mean, Noah Macabretta wasn't at the bag covering, but Spencer Ross was more than halfway towards that second base bag with Clark ranging in to make that catch.
So Wellens in, Guelph 3 outs away from advancing. The Cardinals and the Barnstormers have had 3 barn burners of a game, all of them decided by 1 run. And a thriller for Chatham-Kent last night to keep that series alive. This one will go at least 4. That we can tell you. 1 out in the inning. Luca Boscarino, Ryan DeSantos on deck. Ross the lead at first. Nolan Macabrota holding him on. Ball dropped by Johnson. Runner stays put. 2 balls, no strikes.
Sano's missing a lot early on in these counts. A couple misses early on to Boscarino. We've seen the power that he possesses earlier on in this series with a home run on Friday.
Sano looks in. Johnston the target. Boscarino's ready. The 2-0. Down in the zone. Johnston tried to bring it back up. Couldn't sell it. 3-0 the count. Last thing you want to do is put extra base runners on in a 1-run game in the 9th inning. And Sano a pitch away from 2 walks in the inning, which would not be good. Especially with the top of the order on deck. Here's the pitch. Ball 4, much to the dismay of many of these fans who thought for sure that was a get me over strike. Leffler, the home plate umpire, maybe calling that inside, not sure. Have to take another look at it. Looked pretty good.
Definitely a close call and a contentious one there for sure. You can see the eruption of applause from the Maple Leafs contingent here on the left side of the ballpark.
So 2 on and Ryan DeSantos with 1 out. A chance to give Toronto a nice comfortable lead here.
Don't see back-to-back walks very often here from Carlos Sano, and or 2 walks, pardon me.
Well, 2 walks in the inning, separated by the flyout by Mara. Dangerous situation here with DeSantos at the plate. Sano taking a long time. And DeSantos will use his timeout.
Especially with, Mr. Walk-Up at the plate, with DeSantos leading the league and setting the single-season record. It's a tough spot to be in.
See how aggressive he is at the plate here with 2 on. Johnston quickly off with the mask to make sure the runner stays put.
Still nobody throwing in the Baycats bullpen, despite the trouble that Sano's gotten himself into.
Braden Pakala worked game 1, did not pitch Friday. So he would be an option for some late innings here today if needed, potentially extra innings. Baycats hope so. 3-2 Toronto here in the 9th. Pitch from Sano. And he misses on that one, 2-0. And Sano really having a hard time here finding the strike zone.
Yeah, not something you expect from a guy that was this dominant in the regular season. His only loss this year was to Toronto here in extra innings, but that was an unearned run in the 10th that came around with the runner starting on second base.
Carlos Sano had just 7 walks in the entire regular season. He has 2 in this 9th inning. Runners lead. Here's the pitch. Taking all the way is DeSantos, and it's a called strike. And a sarcastic cheer from the fans. This is not the point of the game where they're expecting the home plate umpire to be pinching the strike zone at all in a 1-run game in the 9th inning. 2-1 pitch on the way to Ryan DeSantos. Here it comes from Carlos Sano. Foul back. Count 2-2.
Goes with more of a breaking ball there on DeSantos. The fastball hadn't been working for him. Tough with the command in this inning. Imagine he might try it again here, a 2-strike count.
Shortstop holding on the runner at second. That's Spencer Ross. Sano's pitch. Called strike 3. It's brought to you by IMP North. 2 out.
DeSantos has struck out 3 times. The 3rd time he's not been happy with the call going against him, as he had some words there for Nick Leffler on the way back to the dugout.
Designated hitter number 77, John Javier.
5th Toronto strikeout today, 3 of them to DeSantos. John Javier. Carlos Sano with the first pitch. It's a called strike to Javier.
Started off Javier there with a changeup, and you knew it was a location that Javier liked. I think he was sitting fastball.
Jordan Castaldo on deck. Boy, it just doesn't seem like there are any outs, easy outs, in this Toronto batting order. Javier's reached base twice today. Sano's delivery bounces up to the plate. Johnston blocks that.
Johnston's done a great job defensively in this game, filling in for Tyler Plumpton, who was hit by a pitch on Friday and deferred the start to Johnston.
This inning started with a walk to Spencer Ross. Mara flied out. Boscarino walked. Sano struck out to Santos and now faces Javier with 2 out in the inning. Sano taking several looks back. Here's the pitch. On the ground to short. Hernandez to second for the force out. And the Leafs strand a couple in the top of the 9th. Last call for the Baycats, trailing by a run. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning at Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
Ninth inning of play once again brought to you by United Way, Simcoe, Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Barrie Baycats with 3 outs to go to try to tie this game and force extras or walk it off the way they did here on Thursday night. How does Adam Ott always find his way to the plate in the 9th inning? Always seems to be the case. Here he is, this time with the bases empty. He was at home plate when the Baycats pulled off their dramatic 9th inning come-from-behind win on Thursday. It'll be Odd, Johnston, and Hull.
And those three collectively 1 for 9.
It's a weekly over to the Barrie dugout. Luis Florentino back out here to work the 9th. For Toronto, the Maple Leaf bullpen is quiet. Fouled away.
You can tell Adam Odd's on these pitches. He just can't quite connect the way he wants to.
Maple Leafs 3 outs away from a chance to clinch this series in front of their home fans on Tuesday night. Toronto could take this series in 4. Barrie looking to do it themselves on their end of things. They appeal to third, and he went on the check swing. Call made by Jeff Rose at third, 1 out in the 9th.
Adam Odd can't believe it, saw his hands up. He's still arguing here with Jeff Rose at third. And it wouldn't be the first time that Jeff Rose has caused some frustration with the Baycats of the call this year.
So here's Andrew Johnston. Now would be a great time for him to get something cooking. Noah Hull on deck, 1 out of the 9th, showing bunt right in front of the plate. Florentino the throw, and it gets away! And they call him out at first! Did they say Johnston was off the baseline?
No, I think they're saying he interfered with the throw.
And now Josh Matlow has been tossed. I don't know where else Johnston could have gone.
It looked like he was going straight down the baseline like anyone would. And the throw, like we saw earlier on with a bunting play or a shallow hit play, Castaldo, that ball going off his glove and by him in the right field. First time Josh Matlow's been ejected this year, and you could tell how frustrated he was. He ran over to first base umpire Ryan Hern. Chris Nagorski now arguing. He came all the way over from the bullpen.
So 2 out in the 9th, and Noah Hull will represent the last chance for the Baycats here. What an interesting call at first base. I'm very interested in taking another look at it, but again, I have no idea where else Johnston could have gone, trying to leg out that bunt.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need an explanation after that post game, because From our vantage point, it didn't look like there was any kind of controversial base running on Johnston's part.
The ball didn't hit him.
Oh.
2 out in the inning. First pitch to Hull is outside. One and 0. Here's the pitch. High and away again. And Florentino looking a little wild here on the first 2 pitches.
Well, you could argue that Florentino's gotten away with a couple of those calls to start this inning. That's what has gotten us to 2 outs.
2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss by Hull. Hull 1 for 3 today. Takes one upstairs. Just back to that Johnston bunt. Like when you bunt it and it's that close to home plate, you do run the risk of being in the direct line of the throw.
But as long as you're in the baseline, like there's nowhere else you can really go.
No, there's nothing he could do.
At that point, they have to throw around you.
As called strike to Hull, 3-2, and Hull calls time.
It seemed like Hull's initial reaction was he thought that was going to be ball 4.
Took a long walk away from home plate. Toronto crowd on its feet. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Hull. The Maple Leafs take game 3 by a score of 3-2. So Toronto will have a chance to take this series on Tuesday night at Christie Pitts. And the Baycats will face a do-or-die situation to try to bring it back home here on Wednesday night.
The offensive struggles have continued for the Baycats in these high-stakes games. Only 7 hits tonight. Only really able to string them together in that 6th inning off of Josh Berenbaum, who was fantastic in his start. Perfect through 3. Ends up being Luis Florentino getting the win, but don't want to forget how important that performance from Josh Berenbaum was. And then obviously Justin Morrow, that deciding home run in the top of the 8th inning off of Carlos Sano, who had been dominant all season long, his first outing in the playoffs. It seems like the long balls have carried the Maple Leafs to a couple wins in this series.
Final from Springwater Township. Maple Leafs 3, Baycats 2. Toronto leads the best of 5 series now, 2-1. Jack Hine, Brian Backland, and Julius Hern, I'm Ben Davy saying so long from Athletic Kulture Stadium.